How do you determine the best of the best? Do you determine them by their performances, wins, championships, accomplishments, or success? Well, in motorsport, one way to do it is to hold a special race, event, or series to find out who is the champion among champions. And we are doing it here on the iRacing service. The SIMCRO Short Track Championship is a showdown among the top short track racers in both divisional, official races, and some of the best and biggest short track series and leagues. And you're getting ready to watch round one live. Hi, I'm Taylor Burris, and joining me in the booth is Stefan Schlocker, and our director, Sean's Crackers Ambrose, and he is using cameras by the camera guru himself, Dougie Beard. Stefan, welcome to my home state of Florida, and we are at the beautiful Five Flags Speedway. Why don't you tell our viewers more about this wonderful short track?
It will be my pleasure. Opened on May 31st, 1953, about 66 years ago, this half-mile track did open its gates for the very first time. 103 feet at the inner edge, short, if you want to know it. Track with quite interesting. It's actually wider by 6 feet on the turns than on the straights. 55 in the turns, 48 feet wide in the straights. Also, the banking varies a little bit, and I would actually say it's a bit on the higher side for short local tracks like this one. Is 15 degrees in the turns and 9 degrees on the straights, and it actually also has a little tiny bit of an oval on the inside of it, but obviously our main focus is here on the big one, so to speak, the half-mile oval here, and we are gonna see a lot of grooves forming up with these legends. We're gonna see people running on the inside, running it a little bit higher. It is gonna be interesting, especially as the tires will wear down here on this 75 lap race. And sadly, we do not have a lap guide for you to show here today, so we are gonna jump you on a boat. Attention all iRacers, we have found a way to get you all on the same boat. Take a cruise with us to celebrate the new year. That's right, sail out of Miami with us on January the 5th in 2020 for a 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise on the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas. Special group pricing has been put in place for iRacing members and their friends. Sail away and get together with members of the iRacing community and get ready to see Phillipsburg on St. Martin, San Juan in Puerto Rico, and the beautiful private island of Labadee in Haiti. For as little as $125 a day, you can cruise the high seas for 7 days. And for a small deposit, you can secure your spot today. Payment plans are available for everyone. Contact Brenna today at the cruise shop to get in on this special offer. Email Brenna at thecruiseshopfw.com, but do it now as spots are filling quickly. Or go on over to their Facebook events page with all the details about this amazing offer. That would be facebook.com/cruiseshopfw. We'll see you on the ship. And Taylor, speaking about ships, why not ship our viewers over to the race details?
Of course. Well, this is round one of the 6-round championship. Tonight's race is going to be 75 laps using the great Legends Ford 34 Coupe. Of course, this setup is open so drivers can twist and tweak and turn to get the car right for their needs for this race. Of course, this will be lucky dogs involved, so that way when the caution comes out, if you are a lap or multiple laps down, you can try to get some of those laps back if you're the first one. Fast repairs are included. You get one shot, so if you wreck your car, come back, get a brand new car indeed, as we will also have no incident limits, so if you do get wrecked or any other incidents happen, you will not be disqualified. Well, as we continue on with our pre-race show, we want to give a big thank you to Next Phase Electric, California's energy efficiency specialists. From air conditioning, insulation, smart home technology, solar, and much, much more, Next Phase Electric is dedicated to lowering your energy costs. And we want to give another big thank you to those guys for helping put on a great show for the next 6 weeks. Now, Stefan, we're here with these beautiful Legends Fords. I'm pretty sure everyone here on the iRacing community is familiar with them, especially if you're in the oval racing community. As you start off with these cars are just a familiar face. I mean, engines of a Yamaha 1250cc, 122 horsepower. So these cars will get around quite quickly.
Oh yeah, even the Yamaha engine on itself on a Yamaha bike gets around quickly on a track. I can tell you that. Um, but especially these legends, if you were watching our special broadcast of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans, you actually did see them race on a 1 kilometer racetrack just a few minutes ago. Not gonna spoil it for you if you want to watch that. But yeah, these cars do accelerate really well, but on an oval, especially on an oval like this, you have to manage your momentum. That means you need to get down to the apron, stick it in there, and then drive it off again. Obviously, you have to be careful about driving off too much because those walls get mighty close.
Yes, indeed, they do. And for some of the viewers who are wondering about which series, which championships are involved with this SIMCRO Short Track Championship, here are some of the series that are involved. We have, of course, all the official series that are running short tracks, but along with the Bootleg Outlaw Racing League, Blazing Pedals iRacing League, East West Promotions, Low Gear, the North New England Winter Heat Series, and the Roadrunner iRacing League. So we are seeing a wide variety of different drivers and talents from across many different series. So it's going to be pretty cool to see, Stefan, how they're able to test their might against each other.
Yeah, it is going to be that. They drive different cars, they come from different leagues, they are maybe not even driving races that are this long because we are going to be seeing these guys run for 75 laps, which isn't that long in a time frame, but for these cars it is very long. And as I said, you will probably going to be needing to manage that right front and maybe even the right rear because you will need that dive in, you're gonna need that drive out. So maybe we will see people drive much higher than others at the start of the race, and then once the tires start to fade away from the others, they are gonna be driving down the inside of these guys because they're not able to handle the or to keep those cars anymore on the bottom because their tires are worn out.
Yes, indeed. A lot of drivers are going to have to figure out when to utilize those tires, not to push it too on, especially early on. We may even see some drivers early in the race start to lean back a little bit, but not just enough to where they can stay on the lead lap throughout this race. So that's something we're going to have to definitely keep an eye on. Looking on at the practice charts right now, Michael Crafton currently sits atop of the board right now with an 18.41. One of the drivers doing a great job. A couple of familiar, or at least one familiar face I'm familiar with calling some of the BRL series. Kenny Kibbe, he's currently sitting down towards the bottom of the field, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. A lot of these drivers are really showing some quite excellent speed, but this is just one of the several different cars that we will see throughout the season. We'll be seeing modifieds and as well as late models, both the pro and super late. So we're definitely going to be seeing a wide variety of different cars to test these drivers' abilities throughout this season.
Yeah, as you said, we're gonna see if you're racing short track ovals and you are in this series, you will come to a round where you are driving that car that you're best in, and that is the best thing about this series. I mean, yes, we're you could say we're only driving at 5 lakhs, but we will always have a different challenge because we're always in a different car. So with that, these guys are track-wise having a level playing field, and we're really gonna see who is the best at driving so many different cars on a single track throughout 6-7 weeks of racing. So at the end, the best driver, the best overall winner driver is going to win the series because they can keep their car up on top of everyone else in every single race.
Yes, indeed. And if you think about it also, Stefan, this type of racing is seen throughout across the United States at local short tracks. I mean, some drivers may not be able to go to track to compete for a major championship. So these tracks host track championships to test to see who is the best at this type of track. And it's so great to see that SimCRO doing the same thing, but just in different cars as well.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we don't have something like that in Europe because we have only big tracks. Like, I think your smallest one is probably here in Austria with just about 2 kilometers. But apart from that, in USA, as you said, it is a very, very known and it is a widespread thing that tracks do host championships like that. And it just puts so much more emphasis on actually being good at what you have to do and knowing when to do what at this track, especially Five Flags, because it is incredibly bumpy.
It is. I mean, I've driven on this track on the sim, and it's just very difficult to find that right line. If you're careful, you can run a really great line, but just going a little bit off over that white line, or even going a little bit too high of an arc, can cause your car to maybe miss that apex, or worse, spin the car out if your car is too loose. So you have to be very careful on the throttle to be careful and watch and see how your line is, as well as, of course, it's a short track. You know there's going to be beating, there's going to be banging throughout the entire race. So keeping an eye on the competition around you and also listening to your spotter.
You're saying it, listening to your spotter. That is going to be the main thing for these guys. Do what your spotter tells you. Go high when you have to go high. Go low when you have to go low. Or even take to grass if you do have to. Because these walls, they are gonna grab your car if you're not careful. And one thing we might see because of these bumps is that people are gonna spin out of the turn because on power, hitting the bumps wrong, they're gonna spin themselves around, and that might cause a little bit of havoc if people behind are not careful.
Exactly, and we're looking forward to that right now. We have about a couple of more minutes before we get ready for qualifying, which will be a 5-minute session, 2 laps for these drivers. So they're trying to get every ounce of speed left to make sure they can finalize that setup, trying to twist and tweak a little bit more to make sure that they feel confident enough their car can be atop the podium when this race is over right now. As we see Michael, I'm looking at Michael Crafton right now, having a great run currently with his practice line. He's currently run about 30 some laps, mostly a mix of between smaller runs, so focusing more on short run speed, but also he's been running some single lap runs as well, just to get that qualifying speed he needs when we get ready to qualify here in a few moments, which, as a matter of fact, qualifying at a track like this is so important.
Oh, it's not only a track like this. I think qualifying is in general important, especially on oval races, because that will mean that you can dictate your own pace. You can drive wherever you want. You can basically determine the speed of what this field is gonna do, because if you can control your own tires without letting anyone by you, you are gonna be on top of everyone else tire wise, because everyone behind will try to get past you, but you're just too good at defending your own spot and driving your own lines and saving your own tires so that you can come out on top. And we're talking so much about tires here because tires are gonna be the most important thing for these guys.
Yes, indeed. But, it's going to be a clutch moment for these guys. And you know what? Clutch Graphics did a great job with this for putting up a sponsor for all your iRacing painting needs. And also, they will give you the best graphics design. And also, they are donating a free custom paint for the race winner here tonight. And also, when the race will be renamed after the inaugural race winner here tonight. So, Clutch Graphics is one of the best premier graphics designs on the iRacing service. Make sure to go look at them, and they will give you the best paint job considered. So give a big shout out to them, and thank you for putting on this show with us here tonight at Five Flags Speedways. Getting ready to finish up the final practice warm-ups here. About 40 seconds left to go. It is still going to be Michael Crafton atop the practice charts right now with his 841, but we are about to... No longer, actually. Chris Carroll chopped the top.
Yeah, and one thing. One thing we have to say: the top, all 13 guys are just within 4/10 of each other. There's a 2/10 gap between 12th and 13th right now, but we don't know how much fuel they're using. So this tight, this field, even though being a rather small, only 13 cars, these cars are tightly packed.
Yes, indeed. They are tightly packed. There's going to be some tight, great racing action here at Five Flags as the checkered flag waves for the final practice. Final warm-ups are being completed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go qualifying here at Five Flags. So let's see who can start on the pole position here today. Just give it a few moments. We're going to wait for the times to come up on the time charts, as we are now getting ready to go into darkness. As we started with a little bit lighter period during the practice period, we are now pretty much almost in complete darkness here.
Yeah, indeed. But I think for the track temperature, it won't make too much of a difference. But we will see if that actually has some impact on the times they're doing. And there we actually have your track temperature, 74 degrees, same degree Fahrenheit, same as your air temperature. Mostly cloudy, humidity only 37%, wind northeast at 6 miles per hour. So that will not have any impact on these guys because they're not air dependent whatsoever. But track temperature 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry. It is going to be a little interesting how that is going to impact the tires.
It will be, as we are watching right now. Joseph Zagali setting the fastest time currently. Right now, he completes his first qualifying run with an 1860 right now. As we look at the time, now Chris Hyatt takes the top spot with an 1852. So we're going to be seeing the time charts go up and down quite a bit here for these 5 minutes. Now actually under almost 3.5 minutes now on the clock, as we now see the number 12 car out on track. That is driven currently by Christopher Hyatt as well. He is getting ready to see if he can get a top and hold it on. He gets improves his lap time to an 18:47.
Yeah, so far a lot of people are not able to do better than their practice lap, so these guys were running quite low on fuel.
Yeah, that's surprising. So we're seeing some of those lower speeds, or not those same speeds we saw in practice. So we'll have to give and take, see what happens to these drivers. Currently, nobody has been able to stand atop the top of the podium except for Christopher Hyatt. He is currently sitting as your pole sitter right now, as Michael Crafton, who is one of our fastest drivers in practice, he takes to the track and he decides to pull it in. He must have not had a good line. He's going to try again. Now here comes Kenny Kibbe right now, and his number 34, the Club Michigan driver. He's currently sitting in 7th position right now, going into turns 3 and 4. Has a nice line, keeping it nice and steady. Let's see what he can do coming off turn 4, not to keep it loose. Gets right up to the wall, crosses the line. He improves, I believe, to a 18.76. So doesn't gain a position, but he does improve his times.
Did improve by 0.2, but as I said, did not gain another position. Coming over the line next is, if I see correctly, Cameron Ruggles puts himself up to 7th place. And Derek Trowbridge has just come out of pit lane, so he did not put in a qualifying lap yet.
This is his hot lap he's got right here. Let's see what he can do. Derek having a good run coming out of turn 4, comes across the line. He jumps to an 18.43, I believe. 18.44. He is our new pole sitter right now with an 18.44. Great lap right there for Derek. He's going to go complete one more lap, seeing if he can improve on it or try to hold on to the pole position here. Comes across the line, does not improve, sets an 18.51. So his first time will be his best time right now. We still have a couple of other cars that have not qualified. We have Carroll and Bennett. So we're going to have to wait and see if they're going to come out onto the track to complete their qualifying runs.
Carroll is already coming onto the backstretch on his first flying lap, going now through turns 3 and 4. Let's see what he can do. He was the fastest guy in qualifying at the very last moment. Let's see his first lap at 18.552, puts himself into 5th place.
He's going to try to see, he's got one more lap in him. He's going to have to do it quick. He's got about under a minute left to get a good lap in. He's got plenty of time. He's going to come out of turn 4. Great line coming off. Let's see what he does. An 18.450. Look at 18.451. So that will move him up to 2nd place. Wow, what a lap time between the top two.
11 1/1000ths of a second between 1st and 2nd place. Derek Trowbridge and Chris Carroll. Garland Bennett did not put in a lap yet. He still has about 20 seconds to go, so he is out of time anyway to put in a qualifying lap.
Unfortunate for him. This is not going to be what he needs to be starting towards the back of the field. He will be starting in 13th by the looks of it, unless he's able to. Nope. Time is running out, so it's safe to say that the field has been set. We'll take a look at the starting grid right now on your pole position. Starting on the front row, Derek Trowbridge will be starting on the pole in that number 57 Legends. Right beside him will be Chris Carroll. Stefan?
In P3, we will have Christopher Hyatt lining up. Alongside him, Jason Segal, the 81 in 4.
Starting in the 5th position will be Michael Crafton. Alongside him, Chris Franz.
Carl Brummett is your 7th place driver. Tracy Jenkins lines up beside him.
Starting in the 9th position will be Bruce Pearson. Alongside him, Cameron Ruggles.
Kenny Kibbe, the 34, puts himself into 11th place, and the 12th place spot on the grid goes to the 44 of Jeffrey Harding.
And rounding out your 13-car field will be Garland Bennett. So, Stefan, we are about to go 75 laps here in these Legends cars. Anyone in particular you are setting your eyes on as far as someone to keep an eye out for?
It is gonna be interesting. I don't know many names in this series, but I kind of have my eyes a little bit on the 12th car of Christopher Hyatt. Yes, he is a 3rd place so far, but he is the only one, apart from your top 2 drivers, who was able to put in an 18.4.
Well, I'm going to go with a friend of ours here on the GSRC. I'm going to look at Kenny Kibbe tonight. Even though he's starting towards the back of the field, he's always been a competitor and finds his way up towards the front of the field by the end of the race. So Kenny Kibbe is the one I'll be watching for here tonight. As we're getting ready to go racing here tonight, they got one more lap before the pace car will turn them loose here. It's Chris Carroll and Derek Trowbridge on your front row right now. Christopher Hyatt and Joseph Segali, they are right behind them. This is it. Gentlemen trying to get all settled in, ready to go for 75 laps here, Stefan. I'm looking forward to this Saturday night under the lights here in beautiful Five Flag Speedway. Can't have anything better.
It's gonna go live in the Saturday night. I'm trying so hard to not make a Saturday night live joke.
Yeah, well, here we go. Pace car is in, waiting for the green flag to drop, ladies and gentlemen. Green is out. A little bit of a slow start, but Chris Carroll gets a jump on the leader. That might possibly cause a penalty as Derek Trowbridge goes to the inside here. Christopher Hyatt follows suit on the inside. 4 or 5 cars lined up on the inside, but Chris Carroll jumps up to the front of the lead, taking on as they go into turn 3. Caution is out.
Put it out. Cameron Ruggles and Tracy Jenkins into the wall.
Get a look at the replay right here. Cameron Ruggles has a bit of an incident.
Yeah, that was resulting off a 3 wide there. And Tracy Jenkins, I think that was a little bit of a case where the spotter wasn't working yet, and Tracy Jenkins wasn't aware that they were 3 wide there. Kind of pinches the 40 to the inside of them, and both go hard into it.
As we look at the onboard right there, there's the contact we see with Ruggles and Jenkins into the wall, hard into that wall right there. I mean, that is good thing they have a fast repair, but still, that's going to cost them a couple of laps here for maybe to get that car repaired.
Correction, Tracy Jenkins did not hit the wall, but also Tracy with a major damage to the front, both, as he said, coming into pits, taking that free repair. A little bit of a weird timing for them to take them. You don't want to take... Obviously, you don't want to take it at all, but better very late than very early in the race.
Yes, indeed. Now they both have to play the safe game here in order not to get involved with it. I'm surprised that there was no penalty caused out for Chris Carroll, as he got a good jump on the leaders here over Derek Trowbridge on the start, but still was able to get the lead. So new leader Chris Carroll up to the front, with Derek Trowbridge dropping back to 2nd and Christopher Hyatt holding on to 3rd.
I am pretty sure that penalty only works if you overtake the car in front of you in line, which obviously Carroll was on the outside and Trowbridge on the inside, so that wasn't a jump. One thing that's interesting, Tracy Jenkins did not take a fast repair, but Tracy is now a full lap down on the field.
Well, the good news is he is so far the only car 1 lap down in the field. So if we do get another caution, he can get that lap back. So as the field is getting ready to be lined up behind the pace car, double file restarts here. So we're waiting to see when the pace car will release these cars. All of them getting ready to line up again and try again here. Let's see if we can get some green flag running here at Five Flag Speedway. Waiting for the pace car to come down. There it goes into pit road. Chris Carroll gets a great jump and takes off. Gets a great lead. Has about 4 or 5 car lanes over the rest of the field. This gives the chance now for Christopher Hyatt to move into 2nd place, with Derek Trowbridge dropping back to the 3rd position as they come out of turn 2.
A little bit of a two-wide action there for P4 at the moment. Actually, now that has been resolved. Now it is for P6 behind them. Chris Franz takes away that position. Or actually, yeah, he takes away that position.
Yeah, he's got a great battle between him and Kyle Burnett. Kenny Kibbe, though, looking to the inside of Burnett as they come out of turn 2 right now, but he's going to slot back in front of Kenny Kibbe as they're making the run out of turn 4. Franz gets a great jump, gets right to the back bumper of Joseph Sagali.
Sorry, he was a little bit in the wall. That actually now loses 2 positions to Crafton and Trowbridge. He now goes down to P4.
As we go on board to that incident, we see Christopher Hyatt coming in and makes that mistake, causing him to go a little bit high up into turn 1, as that would cost him 2 spots, but he is back on the attack on Michael Crafton as they're coming down out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Here they come out of turn 4. It is still going to be Chris Carroll holding on to a 1.2 second lead over Derek Trowbridge right now, with Michael Crafton all over the back bumper of Trowbridge.
Yeah, let's see if Crafton is gonna do something here, or if he stays behind and saves himself some tires. It is going to be interesting what his strategy will be here, because they are very similar on speed right now.
Got a little bit of 3-wide action in the back of the pack. Tracy Jenkins on the inside along with Bruce Pearson. And then we saw Garland Bennett on the outside, but backed off as they came out of turn 2 as they go down the back straightaway. A little bit of battling going on between now Bruce Pearson and the 44 of Jeffrey Harden. Give a little bit of love to those in the back of the field as they battle it out here. Still a long way to go at 5 flags.
Yeah, and that is behind Tracy Jenkins, who seems to not have really gotten any major damage from that, as Tracy is able to keep up the speed and stay in front of them without impeding their lap times, as Bennett now also takes away the position from Bruce Pearson. So Pearson drops 2 positions in just 1 turn.
Something he does not want to have happen. He wants to try to stay within this pack of cars. That way he does not go a lap down. He's going to get back on it, though. But it looks like Garland Bennett's going to get to the back bumper. His teammate looks like Jeffrey Harden as they come out of turn 4. Ooh, a little bit of battling going on for the 4th position between Kyle Burnett along with the likes of Christopher Hyatt, as we see Burnett make the pass coming up out of turn 4. Makes a great job as we see Hyatt slot back in on the front straightaway into turn 1 they go. Christopher Hyatt in that number 12 Legends comes off a little bit too late, not able to continue on and catch up to Kyle Burnett, so he has a little bit of work.
Yeah, Christopher most definitely is hurting. He is putting lap times up right now that are 3 to 4 tenths slower than what everyone around him is doing. So Christopher, after having that wall hit, he is most definitely hurting with his pace.
Yeah, he's going to probably need to get a fast repair when he comes into pit. He's now have to worry about Chris Franz, the 6th place driver, who gives him a little bit of a bump down the front straightaway. I think Chris might have even gotten to the wall a little bit after that contact. As they go into turn 1, Hyatt still holds on to the position, but Franz takes a look to the inside, now slots back in right behind as they go into turn 3.
Yeah, Chris in that red 73 machine, he is looking racy, takes it now to the inside of the number 12. This should be done and dusted by the way when they come out of the number 2 turn. And sure, it is settled now. Chris Franz up to P5.
Well, we got a battle now for P2. Michael Crafton has caught back up to Derek Trowbridge as they go into turn 1. Michael takes a look to the inside, but Derek throws the block to the inside, holding his line as best he can to keep Michael behind him as they come out of turn 2. Michael still might be trying to save his tires a little bit, but he has been putting the pressure on Derek as they go out of 4. He gets a great run and tries to close in, but has to be careful not to hook that wall, as he nearly does coming out of 4.
That was just a few inches there between himself and the wall. Michael Crafton really lucky there to not run into that wall, because that might have damaged his car as much as it did with Christopher Hyatt's car. But Michael Crafton, I think he might be able to get around Trowbridge here soon. Looking racy doing so.
Yeah, it's racing. Speaking of racing, we have another race battling in for P8. That's Cameron Ruggles along with Kenny Kibbe. Remember, Cameron got involved with that lap 1 incident early on. New car, got back out on the track, and now is working his way up through the field inside the top 10 as he got by Kenny Kibbe. Great pass that he had there as they go into turn 1. He's slowly pulling away, actually, from the Kenny Kibbe.
Yeah, he's about a tenth faster than Kibi right now, actually 2/10 on last lap, and he's also 10th faster than the two cars ahead of him, so he might catch up to Joseph Segala soon, the blue 81 car ahead of him.
Yeah, Joseph Sagali doing a great run right now as he's currently holding on to 7th position. Was starting up in the 4th, dropped back a few positions, but is by himself right now. But pretty soon, I think given a couple of laps, he will be having to deal with Cameron Ruggles as he goes into turn 1.
I tell you though, one guy that is not driving alone whatsoever is Derek Trowbridge in that P2, and Michael Crafton is creeping closer and closer to that rear bumper of Trowbridge.
Yeah, and supply. Oh, a little bit of a tap right there coming out of turn 2. I think we see Michael Crafton is really trying to put that pressure on him. He wants to get by and get to second. He might feel Derek is holding him up, but looking through the relatives and on screen, we see the leader not too far ahead of these two. So these two, even though they're battling hard, as he looks to the inside, Michael Crafton is going to go side by side out of turn 2. There he goes to the inside again. Derek Trowbridge trying to hold on to the outside, but Michael Crafton, I think, will try to prevail on the inside line, move him up to P2 as they come across the line. As now Derek tries to go back on the inside crossover move. Oh, a little bit of contact right there. Holds on to the second place now, and this is bringing in Kyle Burnett in 4th position. So we have a 3-car battle for 2nd place down into turn 3 and 4. Coming out of there, they go. Kyle Burnett now trying to put the pressure on Derek Trowbridge. As we go on board with Burnett, he is doing a great job in seeing the action in front of him. He's going to try to get on this and get with Derek Trowbridge to try to get by him. Looking at the lap times, he was 2/10 faster than both drivers, just about 2/10 faster than Trowbridge, and then about almost a 10th faster than Michael Crafton.
Yeah, Crafton is starting to creep away ever so slightly now from Trowbridge after he got past. So Kyle Brummett is wanting to look to do the same there as Crafton just did a few laps ago. We're already now starting in lap 30 of this motor race, so laps ticking by fast.
That is the one thing about short track racing. It goes by very fast here, especially at a half-a-mile track. I mean, we'll be pretty soon almost seeing and looking at the lap counter, and we'll probably see another 30 laps have gone by pretty soon. So great racing here as Burnett now gets more of a pressure now. He tries to hold the inside line better to try to get a run out of turn 2. But I think Trowbridge now has a little bit of a run now. He's going to try to close back in on Michael Crafton as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Coming out of there, they go. Trowbridge still holding on to the 3rd position, trying to find a way to get back by Michael Crafton.
Yeah, and one thing they have to be careful is that Chris France isn't too far behind this 3-car back either. So if they start fighting hard, Chris will be there in a matter of just a few seconds.
As we go on board with Chris Franz, you see there's those 3 drivers right in front of him, just barely dangling in front of him. He can easily see there's 3 positions he could possibly catch on to. But one thing now I'm starting to see, even from that far angle from 5th place, Chris Carroll is now going to be coming up upon a lap traffic right in front of him. Not too far ahead of him is Garland Bennett and Bruce Pearson. Chris Carroll holding on to that P1 position. As we look on board, we see Bennett just right in front of him as he coming off a turn 4. So this is going to be something that he's going to have to negotiate now here to try and get through these lap traffic, because honestly, Stefan, even though these cars are a little bit slower, they will try everything they can to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how he will manage that. Some people are going to try to fight harder for their lap than others, but Trowbridge is right now under attack from Brummett. Brummett now to the inside of Trowbridge for that P3.
He is. Brummett gets a great exit off of turn 2. He's got a little bit of a nose on the inside, but has to back off. There he goes again. Almost gets his nose underneath there, but Trowbridge shuts the door on him as they go into turn 3. Out of 4 they go. Trowbridge holds on to 3rd position. He gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. This might give Brummett what he needs to try to see if he can make a pass, but I think he's not close enough. He's about a car length separating the two. As they go out of turn 4, Brummett gets a good exit off there. He's closing in, reeling him back in now. Great battle we see here for the 3rd position. As we see Crafton in front of him, he's just slowly but surely pulling away. About a couple of car lengths separate those two. each car from each other right now. Brummett, though, gets a great run. Oh, he gets a little bit loose as he goes below the white line, something you do not want to do here at Five Flag Speedway. That can cost you big time. He loses a little bit of time now as we see Garland Bennett up ahead of him go into the wall.
As we go here on to replay of Brummett to show you exactly what happened to his car and the actions he had to take to avoid losing it completely. There he goes under the white wall, and yeah, just a very great save from Brummett.
Great effort we see, but now he lost a little bit of time now to Trowbridge, who is now pulled away, but now reeling back in Michael Crafton. So that battle for P2 may be coming into play here momentarily.
It's a little bit of a back and forth between not only Trowbridge and Crafton, but also Crafton and Carroll, as Carroll is struggling a little bit with the consistency right now. It got down to 1.5 seconds and now it's back up again to 1.8 seconds. So these guys are trying to find the best alliance for not only their car but also their tires.
Yeah, so we might see some of these drivers now starting to search for a better line to have a better bit of grip here on this track. We might see them take a higher line. Some still hug that bottom line as best they can without going over that white line, and then some might try to run that middle groove there. So I've seen a couple of drivers try that position. Some of it has not worked out, but some have done decently well as Trowbridge tries to line a little bit higher up from that white line. And he gets a good run to catch up to Michael Crafton. Let's see if he can do it again here as they go down into turn 1 out of 2. Crafton seems to get a better run off of turn 2 right there compared to Trowbridge.
Yeah, Trowbridge has been running that line that was about half a car width to a car width higher up. And he's doing that to great success. He's holding the speed of Crafton right now, and especially if Crafton hits that white wall ever so slightly, he is getting better runs out of the turns, as it seems like Carroll is now running up to a battle of P10, so he is going to lose probably a little bit of time right now lapping those two cars.
Yeah, Chris Carroll now working his way by Bruce Pearson as he goes to the inside of him along with Jeffrey Harden. He gets a good run to get by these two lap drivers battling for 10th position. As they give him the room, they let him by, and then they get back to battling for the 10th position. Bruce Pearson in the number 96 Legends, along with Jeffrey Harden as we go on board with Pearson. There he sees 10th place right in front of him of Jeffrey Harden as they go into turn 3. He takes a little bit of a higher arc, kind of like we see with Trowbridge right now to see if he can get a better run, but unfortunately cannot hold the line as best he can. Jeffrey Harden starts to pull away.
And in behind, that P2 battle is getting closer and closer to the lapped cars. But not only that, they're also getting closer to each other. Brummett is now back on the bumper of Trowbridge, and Trowbridge is starting to lose ever so slightly out to Crafton again, but Crafton with a big slide out of turn 4, and Brummett tried to stick in this nose there, but did not succeed.
He's still going to try that inside line as best he can as they come out down the back straightaway into turn 3. He's going to slot back in right behind, but then goes down to the bottom of the track, comes right back up and gets a great run on Trowbridge, and then looks to the outside a little bit, tries a higher arc, almost kind of running the same exact line now as Trowbridge as they come out of turn 2. That gives him a good run. Let's see if he's going to dive to the inside here in turn 3. No, actually takes the higher line now as they come out of 3. Brummett trying a different way to get around Trowbridge now.
And this is starting to get interesting as Brummett now once again tries to take his nose to the inside. Is actually starting to get a better run out of turn 2. Let's see if he can convert this through turns 3 and 4. And sure enough, he is getting still a better speed. And now they really run up to the battle of P10 as Crafton is now in the back of Bruce Pearson.
Yes, he is. Pearson now giving him plenty of room for Michael Crafton to get by, but it's going to be a little more difficult now because we see Trowbridge now. He's going to take a look to the inside on Brummett as they go into turn 3 now. Pearson doing the best he can to hold his line. Brummett may use Pearson as a pick going into turn 1. Here they go. Turn 1 inside line. We see Brummett get to the inside of Pearson. Trowbridge has to back off a little bit now and go to the inside of Pearson. So Brummett using Pearson as a pick here at Five Flags. Great ability to notice that and use that as an advantage, try and pull the gap over Trowbridge.
Yeah, and Trowbridge, he actually didn't lose all that much. The most time someone lost of this pack is actually Michael Crafton, who had quite a comfortable gap, I would say, in this battle already. But now Brummett nearly up to the bumper of that second place driver of Crafton.
As we're looking to see that battle right now between Pearson and Garland or Harden right now. They're coming out of turn 2 right now. Harden gets a good run after being passed by Pearson. He's going to try to hold the inside line going into turns 3 and 4. This might give him a great run out of 4. Side by side they go. The battle for P10 still continues. Harden was not able to make the pass now, but I think he might get it going into turn 1. No, Pearson holds strong on the outside line. Pearson in that 96 yellow Pennzoil Legends doing a great effort holding on to that outside line on Jeffrey Harden, but I think Harden might be able to complete the pass coming out of 4. He can't quite clear him yet, though, as they go into turn 1. Give the position back to Jeffrey Harden.
A great fight by Pearson, but at the very end he had to concede his position. But he is looking racy. He's already back onto the bumper of Harden, and Pearson Healy actually ran into the bumper there, had to go wide to avoid. Oh, big slide from the 44.
Kyle Brummett has now caught to the back bumper of Michael Crafton. They're coming down the back straightaway right now. The number 9 blue and darker blue Legends against the yellow and pink 18 Legends of Kyle Brummett. Coming out of turn 4 they go. He gets a great run, Brummett does. He's now going to try the outside line, a little bit higher line, while we see Crafton take the inside line. Crafton gets a little bit loose right there, has to hold on. This gives Brummett a chance to go to the inside here into turn 3. Brummett then clears him. Let's see what Crafton can do now as they come out of 4. He gets right onto the back bumper of Brummett, crosses the line, give the position now to Kyle Brummett, move him to P2. Michael Crafton holds on and gets back to 3rd position, but he is not done yet. He's going to take the outside line as they go down the back straightaway.
Great pass there by Brummett. A little bit helped by Crafton, but Brummett doing his job well. Doing his job well is also Jeffrey Harden and Bruce Pearson behind, because they swapped positions during that battle about 3 times. So these guys, even though being a lap down now in P10, they're also fighting fiercely.
That battle for P10 between these two has not given up yet. Bruce Pearson is still trying to get back to the back bumper of Jeffrey Harden as they come out of turn 4. Here we go, coming down to turn 1. Pearson late into the break, gets a great run, but has to now back off. He was not able to close the deal right now. Jeffrey Harden, though, gets real close to the outside wall, coming down the back straightaway into turn 3. They go.
Oh, wow, what a save from Crafton. Hits the apron there on turn 4. Super sideways and saves it.
Let's take a look at the replay right here now. Great F save we see by Michael Crafton, the Mid-South club driver. He just goes below that white line, loses it a little bit. Great save indeed by that. Great effort as we go back live for that battle. Now, this might help bring back in Derek Trowbridge, which he is. A couple of car lanes separate the two drivers now as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be 10 laps to go here at Five Flags Speedways. Great.
Oh, and here just hit the wall once again. Was in a battle with Cameron Ruggles 4P6. Hit the wall twice very hard, so his car probably done for the day. So
no, actually, it looks like to be Christopher Hyatt right now, who might have hit the wall in that number 12. And as we see Joseph Sagali get by him, move him up to P7, and I think Christopher hits the wall again. There he goes, into the outside wall, coming down the front straightaway. A lot of damage right to the right side of that car.
I wonder if he has some suspension damage from that first hit when he was battling with Ruggles. And there we can see it just goes too wide. That nearly, I'll say their aero push, but no, that is just push because of the tires are old on his car. And yeah, that's just a result of fighting a little bit too hard for your positions.
Well, I tell you what, someone who's not been fighting hard at all is Chris Carroll. Started on the outside row. He has now worked his way to lapping up to 9th place of Kenny Kibbe, he has just put a lap down a few moments ago. Great effort, and he's actually closing in on the, let's see here, that would be Tracy Jenkins in front of him, the 31. So he has really put the power down for someone who has been running. When you're running up front like we see Chris Carroll has, you can save your tires, and he's been doing that astoundingly quite well here tonight at Five Flag Speedways. We are coming now to 5 laps to go here at Five Flag Speedway. Chris Carroll has about a 3.7 second lead over Kyle Berman.
And that battle for P2, that 3-car battle pack, they are starting to separate each other. Kyle Brummett running away from Michael Kraft, and Kraft running away from Derek Tobridge. So these guys are starting to settle into their positions and settling into trying to save the tires as much as possible.
We are now going on board now with Harden. Jeffrey Harden now getting back as we see him battling with Bruce Pearson again. Going into turn 1 they go. Harden tries to find a way to get to the inside but cannot. He goes below the white line, gets a little bit loose right there, but still is able to hold on to the car as they go down the back straightaway. He now tries to higher arc in to see if he can get a better run off corner exit, but has to be careful going below that white line. Here comes Cameron Ruggles right behind them. This is a 6th place car. Let's see if he's able to find a way. Here comes Cameron Ruggles to the inside.
Oh!
A little bit of contact right there. Close, but no one spins out. Thank goodness for that. Jeffrey Harden, though, holds on, but he's going to lose a lot of time to Bruce Pearson.
Wow. How did that not result in damage? Cameron Ruggles, very lucky there.
Go. We are closing in on the final laps here at Five Flag Speedway. It is going to be the 10 car of Chris Carroll, who is currently still holding on to the lead as we are on the final lap here at Five Flag Speedway. Coming down the back straightaway we go. Chris Carroll, he got the lead on the start of the race and has not yet looked back. Chris Carroll will take home the checkered flag here at Five Flag Speedway. Congratulations. The battle for second still not over yet. Kyle Berman is still going to hold on as he holds off Michael Crafton and Derek Trowbridge. Well, as the rest of the field gets ready to cross the finish line and set up the final bit of results, we are going to take a quick break and we will be right back here with final results and driver interviews. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back here to Five Flag Speedway as we just finished round one here of the SIMCRO Short Track Championship, and with the Legends races have proved to be legendary. A great race indeed as Chris Carroll takes home the win. And due to the fact of that win, he gets a free Clutch Graphics Racing paint scheme design. So congratulations to Chris Carroll for doing that excellent win. Along with this race will be now the race winner. He will now be the inaugural race name for this race next time we run this event. Now, let's go through the rest of the results here at Five Flag Speedway. Chris Carroll is going to be your race winner, followed by Kyle Brummett finishing in second position, with Michael Crafton finishing third, Derek Trowbridge finishing in fourth, and Chris Franz rounds out your top five. Stefan?
Sixth place goes to Cameron Ruggles. Starting in 10th place, he himself gained 4 positions. Joseph Segala, 7th place. Christopher Hiat puts his number 12 car 3 times into the wall, but also puts his car into 8th place. He is also the last car to finish this race on the lead lap. Kenny Gibby, first car, 1 lap down in 9th place. Bruce Pearson, 10th place, fighting himself out every single lap, 75 laps straight against Jeffrey Hardy, who finishes in 11th. Tracy Jenkins, 12th place, and Garland Bennett rounds out your field down in 13th.
Well, we have a couple of drivers here ready to go to be interviewed here tonight at Five Flag Speedway. First up is going to be Kyle Brummett, who finished inside the podium position. And Kyle, great racing that we saw, especially between you and Michael Crafton. Tell us a little bit more about that race and how'd you do?
Well, I started the race a little bit tight, knowing that the car would get loose, and starting in 7th position there was a little bit tough. I would have liked to have started a little farther up, but racing with Michael and the 57 car there was both really fun, and after 75 laps, I'm pretty wore out.
And I bet you are indeed. Now, we're getting ready to go through the rest of the season. We're going to be running several other different cars of late models and modifieds. How are you more feeling as far as those types of cars with the Legends?
Uh, Modifieds are probably my best bet. Late models are hit or miss. I could be really good or run dead last, but watch out for me in modified.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing how well you do throughout the rest of the season. Again, congratulations on your podium finish here at Five Flags, and we look forward to seeing you at the next round.
Thank you.
And that was Kyle Brummett, who finished in the second position. And I believe we have now our race winner, Chris Carroll. And Chris, congratulations on your win here today. You pretty much just took the lead on the start and never looked back.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Taylor. We built the car to hopefully last the long run there, and she did. So got better as the run went, and it was pretty good.
Yes, indeed. And it's a great way to start off this 6-round championship. We have now the modifieds and the late models coming up. How are you feeling as far as with those cars as we get later on to the season?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of experience in those cars, but we'll make it work. We'll do it as good as.
All right. Well, Chris, again, congratulations on your win here today at Five Flags, and we look forward to seeing you at the next round here next week.
Hey, thank you so much, Taylor. I'd like to thank a few guys, if you don't mind: Parker Brookfield, Mason Bailey, Nate Jurgensen, Randy Wilkinson, John Theodore, and my friend Larry Bell, who helped me build that setup tonight there, and also Beast Racing, if that's super cool with you.
All right. Well, thank you guys for racing and putting on the great show for us here tonight.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it, man.
That was Chris Carroll, our winner, and Stefan has caught up with Michael Crafton.
Yeah, Michael, welcome to the interviews. Michael, if I would sum up your race, it's a great battle, great racing, but a little disappointment only getting a second place out of that.
Yeah, we struggled, or I struggled a little bit on the practice session a little bit. Couldn't get the car to handle to my liking as much as I wanted it to. Every time I'd try and loosen it up, it was too loose, and every time I'd tighten it up, it was too tight. So I just left it the way it was, and it was just a little too tight. I didn't really think I had the winning car, but I knew we had a shot at a top 3.
Yeah, every time I would have a too tight car and still getting a top 3, I would be very happy myself. But hey, better a too tight than too loose car. Now, we at SIMCRO, we have to say we're gonna drive a few bunch of different cars. Where do you see your strongest point in the season?
Uh, I, I really don't know how you want me to answer that. Sorry.
What is your strongest car in the series? We have the tour mode. We have so many different
Oh,
cars.
I'm thinking. I mean, the Legend. I'm pretty strong in. I'm thinking maybe the super late models. I'm pretty decent in those.
All right. Well, Michael, we wish you all the very best for the remainder of the season. Thanks for coming to us, talking to us, and congrats for that third place.
Thank you.
And with that, we would like to say thanks to all our viewers here on the Global Sim Racing Channel for all the great viewers who came here to watch this wonderful race here. The next time that we will see these wonderful cars will be next week with the street stocks at Five Flags. So don't worry, we're not changing any tracks. We're coming right back here to Five Flags Speedway, but in the street stock. So look forward to seeing us here next week in those cars. We'd like to give a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors here today at the Five Flags Speedways. Looking forward to thanking them all for giving us a wonderful show here tonight at Five Flags. Of course, we want to thank all. If you look on the screen, you will see all the amazing opportunities as well as the wonderful use of our tools that we use here on the Global Sim Racing channel, along with thanking June Lalonde for the wonderful music she puts on. Also like to thank you for our crew, Stefan, Joe, Sean, and Dougie. Great job for these guys to put on this great show. And of course, next time we will be here next week at 10:30. Well, actually, it looks like 10:30 p.m. 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we will be running the street stocks here again at Five Flags. So until then, we will see you next time. Race hard, race clean, and we will see you on the track.